Hello YouTube, Impractical Inventor here once again, and I wanted to create a little update video as to what I've been doing on the past couple months or so. I haven't been working on my plane because I've been waiting for parts, which I just now received, but I've already started on another project that I've been working on ever since then, so I wanted to show off what I've actually gotten done with that. So, because I haven't had any hardware stuff to mess around with, I decided I might as well start getting into software a bit. So, what ended up happening was, I downloaded Unity 3D, which is a development software that I've messed with once in the past, but with not much luck to it, as I ended up getting lots and lots of errors, as I didn't really know how to use the syntax and the different scripting APIs that they had installed to it, so I didn't quite know how to do it or what I was doing, and the documentation wasn't something that I was very good at looking through at the time. But since I've learned quite a bit from Arduino and building these different devices that I've been doing with it, I've become at least a little bit more skilled since back when I tried to do it the first time. So I decided I'd reinstall the software and then see where it goes. So if I open it here, you can see that I've been working on this video game for the past while. And what the idea of it is it's going to be a mobile Android game. Well, Android and hopefully eventually iOS. And what it's going to be is you're going to start out as this little ship right here. And as you play as this ship, you'll be able to go around the world. There's enemies, there's asteroids, there's going to be enemy bases eventually, and your idea is going to be just to, survive in this little world, get money, upgrade your ship as you go, and try to continue living in it. And maybe I'll eventually add base building and things like that. I don't know right now. But I've also got this mothership right here, which the idea of this is it's going to be a little trading outpost that you come here, and you have money in the game that you can come here with, and you can buy different upgrades for your ship, and maybe other things later in the future. So, I've also got my health bar right here, and if I actually click under my main camera, and I go to particles, then you can see I've got these stars. Now these stars are something I'm most proud of in the game. If I actually run the game, I'll show you a bit of what they do. So, this might take up a bit of CPU time, but you can see that they twinkle as they go, and they kind of fade in and out of existence, and that's something I'm pretty proud of actually making it so they could do. It's just a particle system in Unity, but actually setting up the colors and the size settings of them over time was something that I was quite happy of, because that was one of the first things I did in this. If I actually, here, let me open it down here. You can see right here I've got the actual ship model, which is something that was iterated a few different times. The first model that is, let me find it, yeah, this is it's not quite easy to see right there. Let me open it on a different window right over here. One moment, let me find the file. Yes, here it is. So, second, computer froze up a bit there. Oh, there we go. So, even though it's a bit blurry, you can see what the original model was. It was like this beetle-like ship with the stripes down the middle of it, and it had this little thruster in the back, and this aiming crosshair up at the top. I ended up getting rid of the aiming crosshair because it was black on a black background, and it wasn't very useful. So, right now it's just not really in the game at all. You can see all these different things for the asteroids too, and the asteroid, let me find one. Oh, there's one right here. This is one of the asteroids. Now, these are just little giant, well, by little I mean giant, especially compared to your ship, that just kind of float around the map, and they, just move from place to place, and then you can shoot at them, and you'll hopefully be able to get resources from them. And there's no enemies spawned in because I'm just in scene view, so let me go to my pre-created items here, and here's one of the enemies. You can see that this big bubble around it is its field of view, and if your character, your ship, it gets into that field of view, it will point at you and it will start shooting. I'll show you all this in a bit. But besides that, that's pretty much, actually no, that's not all of it. I've also got this, I don't know what to say about it. There's just a ton of different programs for it. You can see all the code for them right here. So I've I've got this one for the asteroids. I've got this one for the bullets. I've got this one for the camera, for it locking on to where you are. I've got this one for the enemies code. I've got this one's for enemies attacking, because I have, if I click on this again, you can see that there's a little bubble, and then there's a big bubble. Well, the big bubble is for actually attacking the character, and the little bubble is for the actual character to know when it's been hit. I made it a bit bigger than the actual model itself, because this is a mobile game and I want it to be not too difficult to actually hit the enemies. So if I actually click over here, you can see this is the code for the enemy spawners, which are actually invisible, but you can see one right here, and those just kind of randomly poke about in the map, and then they'll spawn enemies depending on how many there are already. Besides that, yeah, then I've got the turrets. The turrets are these on the ship, and what these do is if enemies get too close to the ship, the mothership, then the turrets will take care of the enemies. The idea of that being that if you're in the shop and you're trading and everything, you don't want to be bothered by the enemies, so the shop will kind of take care of them for you, because you don't want to be trading in here and then suddenly you die because enemies came up behind you and you couldn't see them because you were in the shop. I've designed this game in such a way that I won't need any loading screens or anything, and you can see right here, this is for the mothership. I'll actually show you this working. This is something that is kind of cool as soon as it loads. So if I take the ship and I change its location to where it's far enough away from the mothership will start moving itself around the map, and it'll just kind of go around, just randomly. So let's see, I think that's everything I have to show on the actual editor itself. Let me switch over to my cell phone recorder on there, and then I'll show you what else is on there. You can see here, I'm holding to record. You can see that the actual program is right here, and then you can see it has this little fade in, and it gets into the game. I'm going to turn down the volume so that way it doesn't be annoying. So you can see right there, I accidentally went into the shop, and right as of now there's no upgrades, but those are going to be added soon in the future. The whole idea is going to be that you can click on the different upgrades to buy them and everything. So if I click the back button, it'll fade me right out, and I'll get out of the shop right there. So you can see right here, this asteroid right here got shot apart because it was by the mothership, and to prevent the mothership from actually getting hit by stray asteroids, it actually shoots at them and tries to get rid of them before it'll actually hit it. So if I just kind of roam around the map for a bit, hopefully I'll run into an enemy. In order to actually move around, what I have to do is I have to touch on the screen in the direction I want to go. So, yeah, as you can see right there, that's something that's kind of a little graphical error that I need to fix later. The idea is that it's kind of like the original Asteroids games, where if I move in a certain direction for too long, I'll teleport out the other side. Oh, here's an enemy. You can see that if it hits me, my health goes down. Now if it gets too low, I'll actually die. So I need to shoot him, and then, oh, there's another enemy. As you can see, I picked up that coin right there, and I just shot him again. So, now, as you can see up here in the top left, there's money in the game. That you get 10 coins, or money, or currency, or whatever I want to call it later. You get those anytime you kill someone, anytime you kill an enemy. So, yeah, here's an asteroid. I'll show you this now. The asteroids aren't fully programmed. I'm going to make them so they can actually drop money as well. Maybe that'll be an upgrade though, not quite sure. So, you can shoot it. It'll become destroyed. It'll shoot out a bit of smoke, rock fragments, I want to call them. And then you can shoot it again. It'll break apart once again, and then you'll get more smaller chunks. Now this is as small as they get, and then it kind of moves it around due to the bullet's physics. And you can see this one went off. Now it doesn't shoot at the little fragments because the big ship doesn't really care about that. But oops, I accidentally went into the shop again. If I just click the back button on my Android phone, I'll get out of there. We'll have to reprogram for something different on Android. So here's an enemy. I'll show you what happens if I actually just get fully killed. And I go away, enemy stops shooting, and it just doesn't really care anymore. You see the stars actually blinking on here now. If I so you'll have to close out the game now, but then I can reopen. So now I'm just going to kind of show you a bit of the mothership. This is what it looks like. It has these windows. The idea is that there'd be people inside here that they would be looking out, and they would be, they'd be kind of like in Wall-E. You remember those guys on Wall-E? How they were like sitting on that ship and they could just look out and see everything. So yeah, here's that asteroid again. I can, while moving, while touching the screen with a different finger, that'll allow me to point and aim. I can click with any other finger just somewhere else on the screen and it'll allow me to shoot. There's going to be an upgrade for the actual player that'll allow you to have a turret on you, kind of like the big ship has with these turrets right here. But just for now, if once you start out the game, it'll be a bit more difficult. Maybe it'll get easier, maybe it'll get harder. It'll likely get harder as you go on in the game. As you can see, the ship slightly angled itself differently because it started moving along. Well, that's pretty much everything I have in the game right now. Once I actually get this game done, which should be by the end of this month, I'll be releasing it on Android and maybe eventually iOS. It'll start out on just the Kindle Fire store on Amazon, and then eventually I'll save up the money to get a Google Play license, and it'll go on there. And then if I get the $100 I need to put it on iOS, I'll put it on there too. But for now, this is it. It'll be expecting it to show up. I don't have a name for it yet, but that's it. So, after I finish everything with this game, maybe I'll get back to building that plane I'm working on. Thanks for watching, and that's it. Also, I'll have to get this